The tourism minister understands why hotels have decided to delay their rescheduled opening. Good evening, I'm Jiminita Swain. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for tuning in. The country's tourism industry is gearing up for what is hoped will be a revival as government moves to execute Phase 5 of its measured reopening of the economy. That is somewhat complicated as a number of resorts that would normally welcome guests will not be doing so. Cleopatra Murphy has the Minister of Tourism's reaction.
As the Bahamas forges ahead with the July 1st reopening, moving to welcome tourists to its shores again, at least 4 of the major hotel properties will not be accepting guests, having opted to delay their reopening until the 4th quarter. It is not the best news to Minister of Tourism and Aviation, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, but he says those hotels have their reasonings.
I think a number of the resorts have looked at what their bookings will be like come July, and they have determined that to open would not be economically viable. So they have decided to wait until their book of business grows. They have, now that we have a hard opening date of the 1st of July, they can start to get into the market, let people know, determine how it's operating, and then plan a more orderly opening of their business. So while I don't like it, I understand it.
Atlantis, that is the country's largest private employer, and Bahamar closed their doors in late March due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While Atlantis will reopen on July 7th, Bahamar and the Melian Nassau Beach Resort have pushed their reopening to October. Sandals Royal Bahamian will reopen on November 1st, while Club Med is set to open on December 12th. With less options for guests to choose from, the Minister of Tourism commented on the impact the extended closures will have, suggesting smaller hotels that are easier to open may benefit.
Those that are bigger, obviously you need a certain amount of scale to make it worthwhile to bring all those persons back to work and start opening restaurants. I mean, it's just, if you take an Atlantis or Bahamar, those are huge properties, and to commission them and get them open takes an enormous amount of staff and resources. And so I think what they want to do is to ensure that they have the necessary visitor load to make it worthwhile.
Despite some of those properties choosing not to reopen on July 1st, de Aguilar does not believe the Ministry of Tourism wasted its marketing campaign aimed at attracting visitors for the full opening of the Bahamas' borders on that date.
All of the work that has been done has sensitized us to what is necessary to open in this new post-COVID environment. We had to go through the process of what the protocols would be, what the health steps that we would have to understand. So, it gives us more time to get it right. And I think we'll be wonderfully positioned when these larger resorts, or those resorts that have decided not to open until later, actually open.
While the country reported a record tourist arrival in 2019 with 7.2 million tourists, COVID-19 has ground the sector to a halt. As for how long a recovery takes, de Aguilar says that is the great unknown.
No one really knows how long it will take for tourism to rebound. If I had to give it an educated guess, I would say 18 months to 2 years for it to begin to ramp back up. And obviously with all the social distancing and all the health protocols that are necessary, you can't have as much business as you used to have and observe the protocols put down by the health department. So everybody's actively looking for a cure to this virus and trying to restructure their business so that it can operate with these new social distancing rules in place.
Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.